our fellowship tonight. My name is Samuel Karanja. I am the resident customer service lead in the club. So tonight we'll start as any other Rotary fellowship. Allow me to play the national anthem.
So, you're the guy.
I am the guy.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry for the ads at the beginning. It's a lesson learned. Play the ads before the national anthem starts. All right, at this moment, I request Elvis to say for us the grace. Elvis Karaya to say for us the grace, and Valentine to say for us the four waiters. Elvis. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I missed a bit of what was said, but I can see the Rotary Grace, so I'm gonna lead us in the Rotary Grace. O Lord and giver of all that is good, we thank thee for our daily food. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us to serve thee all our days. Amen.
Valentine, or wait us.
The Rotary four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Valentine. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity of service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity of service. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, peace, and peace throughout the world through a world fellowship of business professional and professional persons united in the ideal of service. Welcome to our fellowship tonight. This is the Rotary Club of Jabali information. Jabali means rock, and our aim as a Rotary Club is to be a dependable family for each of our members and for the communities that we shall serve. We are a young Rotary Club information. That means we are taking the baby steps to be a fully fledged Rotary Club, and you'll hear more of that towards the end of this fellowship, or if you're new to Rotary meeting. Tonight we have an interesting topic, and I think that's why most of you are here tonight. We normally do not just get to 50, means the topic is of interest, and so we won't take much of your time with Rotary stories. Those will come at the very end, but we'll give more time to our speaker tonight, and more so to everyone to raise a question. Feel free to leave this fellowship more knowledgeable and more informed on money matters. So this moment, I will welcome our speaker tonight, Robert Ochieng. Robert is a friend or an acquaintance I've known for several years now, I think since about 2016, 2015, thereabout. And he's passionate about matters personal finance and investing. So how I got to meet him was through a forum. Back in the day, Facebook was very famous and was a very useful platform. I'm still not sure that's the case today. But Robert and friends put together like-minded young people and formed an investors club. And we'll meet, I think, once every month. Back then I was a student, so I only went to listen because I had no money to invest. But the knowledge at that point was instrumental very much in a few years later, or many years later, from 2016. So Robert has been in the financial services space for the last decade or so, and most recently formed Abojani Investment, which is a company that is interested to educate young people to plan their finances properly and in an informed manner and invest for brighter days ahead. So I'll not speak much. I will welcome Robert. So let me look for him and unmute. We had a scare last week. So Robert, welcome to our fellowship. I'm sure you have heard of Rotary, so we'll not explain Rotary as much. Today we'll explain that at the end. Welcome to our club, and over to you for the talk.
Thank you very much, Sam, and everyone who has tuned in tonight. So my name is Robert Ochieng. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Abojani. And at Abojani, we champion conversations that would help individuals connect their life goals with their personal finances. And we are usually very happy if our family is smiling at the dinner table because they're achieving their life goals, which are unique to them, and which we all believe that if everyone works well in life, they should be able to achieve. So thank you very much, Sam. So I have some few slides that I'll share with you.
Yes, you're a co-host now. You can share.
So maybe you can enable me to be able to do that, which is very, very encouraging. So let me try share my screen. Yeah, I'm now able to share my screen. Yeah, so once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. So I'll briefly take you through personal finance and investment, but mostly we'll dwell on personal finances today. And kindly allow me to switch off my video so that you can concentrate on the presentation. Yeah, so Abojani is regulated by CIFA, which is the government agency that regulates financial and investment advisors. So that allows us to be able to educate the public on personal finances. And after that, we usually are able to connect people with investment firms where they can get started on their investment journey. So our background is that we own a Facebook group with over 85,000, and that's where we met with Sam several years ago. We used to have physical meetings on Ochieng. They are close to free, like you pay only 200 Kenya shillings just for the room, for booking the room. But later on, we realized that it will not be sustainable. So these days we charge, and it's a structured class where you can come and learn about personal finance, investments like money market, treasury bills and bonds. And also we get to educate the public on investing through forums such as yours, where you have someone who has an organized group, people who are like-minded, and they're looking at so many things in life, but we just take maybe an hour or 30 minutes to share why investment is important in all the things that we do. Yeah, so why personal finance? I would say that when you look at finance, in a way, finance moves the world, because you've seen this situation that maybe is in Russia and Ukraine, and you're hearing that the dollar exchange rate is going up. You're hearing that the fuel prices are going up. So in a way, finance moves the world, and it can move the world in different ways at country level, at company level, at your household level. So there are different forms of finance. So a good example is like this year we have elections. So let me see who is tuned on here. So let's assume that Alex Wanjau vies for presidency and he wins. So after he's won, he'll now be accountable to all of us who, as Kenyans, whether you voted for him or not. And it will be up to him to decide how he's going to run a company from a finance point of view. Will he collect taxes? Do you have natural resources? Then now he'll start building roads, ensuring that health facilities are okay. So that is public finance, which is run at national level, at country level, whether you're the US, the UK, Zimbabwe, etc. Then you have a corporate like Safaricom. They have a mission that they want to achieve. They want to connect us to be able to communicate, use mobile data, to browse, send SMSs, and they're a commercial entity. So they'll have what we call public finance. And they have what we call corporate finance. Then we have non-funded government organizations. Let's say if you are to have your finances as a Rotary Club, you are a non-profit organization, but you still need to manage your finances well, even NGOs like Red Cross, because people who are providing the funding would really be keen to see the impact that is being made. And then finally, we have now personal finance. So personal finance, I would say, is the business of you, is all about you as an individual. So on one end, you have your life goals, the things that you want to achieve, the things that make you happy as an individual. Then on the other hand, you have value that you are creating in this world. And from that value, you get some form of earnings. So whether you are in a business or you are a professional who earns a salary. Now you have the money on this side, you have your goals on the other side. So it's about the discipline that you create to be able to work towards your goals. And these goals could be building a home, having a family, being able to pay school for children. It could be saving enough money to start a business, saving enough money to retire at age 40 or 50 or 35, whatever. So they are very unique and personal. And that's why you say that personal finance is all about you. And when we share information in terms of conversations, we are based on the African dinner table setup, because that's how Africans used to learn. Before this education system where you have to cram things and answer questions in exam, then you are told now you are a hero, you got an A. We used to learn through conversations. And that is our strength. It is how we learn. And I usually tell people that if you normally talk nicely to people, you are a nice person, In Africa, we say that it's very difficult for you to sleep hungry. But if you are too close, no one knows your problem, no one will help you. So because of that, conversations are very powerful here in Africa, and they form the basis of how we interact with each other. And that is usually the platform where you can learn about things like relationships, how to raise a family, things like money. And you'll find that maybe a father or a mother at a certain age, they want their children to at least get something to do, whether they're going to be a plumber, whether they're going to university. So we didn't have like that formal sort of education. And I feel like since most of us, and actually in Kenya, it's possible to go to school up to PhD level without ever learning about finances. So we are just taking advantage of the least path of resistance. So when Samuel was saying that we used to have those sessions at Ochieng, we are just championing conversations so that you can have as many people as possible be the drivers of their personal finances, because it is personal and the success is yours. There won't be an Olympic gold medal, but at least you'll be happy. You'll say, yes, I was planning to go to Mombasa for a holiday in December, and I've been able to save 3,000 Kenya shillings per month. So by December, I can take SGR to and fro and live in a nice hotel for 2 days, and you'll be very happy. So that's the whole idea, or whatever you want to do over time. So that is key. And having interaction with many people, East Africans living locally and even in diaspora since 2015, we decided now to form a company known as Abojani Investment to formalize the engagement that you have with people. Because when you are regulated, it makes it much easier since you are dealing with money, which is something very, very, very sensitive. So after all those conversations, we learned that to look at personal finance, I would invite you to what we call Abojani personal finance pillars. So these are 3 pillars that you need to build on them to lay a foundation for a successful personal finance journey. So before we proceed, I just want to know what money means to you. So you can type on the chat area, what does money mean to you before you proceed? Because like we said, personal finance is very, very personal. So I can't assume that money means the same to all of us. So you can type on the chat. For Alex, it means convenience. Yes, that's great. With money, you can have convenience. You can move faster. You can delegate. You can do so much. So that is great. So it's important even before you start talking about money that you know what it means to you. So there's security, opportunities, freedom, great. Independence, yes. Independence means that you are doing things on your own volition. It's not, no one is forcing you. Freedom, yes. Freedom means that you have options. You can do what you want. You are not restricted. And also money is a tool. It is a means to an end. So there are different ways to look at money. And for some people, again, it is status. When someone tells people, and no one has asked them, but they say, you know, I own homes here in Kenya. I have one in Nanyuki. I have one in Kilifi. My daughters are in the UK. So for them, money means status, that if they say that, they feel good. And that's okay because it is their life. So money is very personal and it means different things to different people. So that connection is important because when you're looking at the mindset, you're looking at the connection that you have in terms of what money means to you. So that when you are saving in a circle, when you are saving in a money market, treasury bill, whatever thing that you're doing about saving and investment, you have a connection. So it's not about someone pushing you to do that. Because if you don't have a reason why you are saving and investing, you'll feel like it is a punishment. But if you want to retire at age 40, it is clear. If you want your children to go to a nice school, it is clear for you. If you want to be able to handle an emergency, that if you have an emergency now, let's say it is worth 3,000, you're able to sort it. Because again, if you don't have that 3,000, you'll start calling people names. You'll call Brenda or Sam, and you'll start calling them names. You'll see how they are scams. So it is impossible to find someone that can reliably fund your life or whatever dreams that you want to achieve, whether you're their siblings or parents. Because of that, it's good to have your own resources. And that's when you talk about freedom, independence. It means that you can do things as you wish based on your own life and the way you've planned it. So it's very, very important for us, before anything else, have a meeting with yourself. So that's the most important thing in the personal finance journey. have a meeting with yourself, make peace with money, and accept that it is relevant in your life, whether it is to sort your needs, you need a roof under your head, so you need to pay some form of rent, or every month you need to go to Carrefour or Quickmart to do some shopping, and that will help you throughout the month. You'll be able to brush your teeth, you'll be able to eat dinner, things like that. You need to know why money is important to you. And if normally you want to cool off, you can't work from Monday to Sunday, then you feel like you need some leisure activities, entertainment, and you need some money, then it becomes very clear why you need to set aside part of your income. And that is very personal. So the mindset is all about you. The mindset is a personal journey. It is the acceptance and realization that money is valuable. It is a means to an end. It is a tool. It can help you make investments which enable you to buy your future at a discount, to be able to be in a position where you can have money without working. So it simply means that in the good days, in the sunny days, you set aside some money. You can be able to retire peacefully. So the mindset is key, and that connection is what will help us even before we go to investment banks or anything. And for example, that is why you define what wealth means to you, what excess means to you. No one has got a responsibility to make you rich or wealthy. That is personal, because you have to configure your life. And believe me, anyone who comes to you with an investment, usually they're in business. They're not to make you rich. They want to get their commissions and go. But now, if you understand the investment options and you understand your goals, it will be the other way around. You are the one who will be going to the investment fund, to the insurance. You say, I want this and that product because they'll help me maybe protect my wealth. They'll help me accelerate my investment journey. So because of that, the mindset is key. And outside even looking at things that are unique to you, like your personal goals, you need to know to save and invest. A good one is inflation. So inflation eats your money over time. When I was in high school, a loaf of bread was going at around, I think, 15 to 20 Kenyan shillings. Now here it is 55. So it simply means that 20 Kenyan shillings that I put under pillow, a loaf of bread. But if I had invested it at just 8 to 9%, I would have over 80 Kenyan shillings and I'd probably be able to buy 1.5 loaf of bread. So basically, I've been able to sustain my lifestyle. Then we all know that over time, what we have now, which is our strength, is human capital. So that is HC. You have a very strong human capital. You're able to even see a link that is Zoom, you click and join. Believe me, to reach a time where your human capital will be very low. So you need financial capital to have grown so that it is able to take care of you. So because of that, retirement is key. And you should see that retirement package as a silent life partner that can help you in those days that your human capital is very low. And people are now discovering, as part of civilization, that the traditional retirement package is not sufficient, that it can't cater for your needs when you retire. For that reason, that's something you need to think about seriously, so that you don't form part of the 87% of Kenyans who are not able to afford retirement. Their pensions can't sustain them. So maybe they have to go to do some odd jobs, go to pick tea in Kericho, go to be a security person, not because that's what they want to do by default, but maybe they're working in a very different profession, but now they're just going for these jobs because they have no means. So that is something that we need to decide, that if we are the generation that is not going to use our children as the retirement package. So we need to make commitments with those living within your means, because that is the definition of happiness. The moment you try to please other people, let me tell you, it is close to impossible. Even entertainers, most of them tend to have mental illness issues because it is so difficult. It's close to impossible to please other people. Because of that, when you live within your means, you're just pleasing yourself. You are not under any duress to please other people. So the other thing that you need to know is that an emergency can come up at any given point in time, irrespective of who we are. Because of that, if you have some fund there, it will help you to cater for that emergency and turn that problem into a mere inconvenience. So once you made those connections, you now curate your goals, you'll enumerate them, you write them down, then you prioritize. You'll say, yes, I have 10 or 20 goals, but this year I want to only do 3. So you are disciplined and you're able now to manage your resources. because again, money is not unlimited. Yeah, so that is important and it is personal. So like once you made that decision that now from these 50,000 Kenya shillings that you are earning or 100, you need to set aside part of it. Now the next thing will be, where do I put it? So from there, you move now to mindset and skill set. So mindset on its own is not enough, because you can be the most disciplined person in terms of saving. But if you have zero skill set, it means that you have no idea what investments are, you have no idea what risk is, you have no idea what kind of returns to expect, and you have no idea what is true or not true. So anyone can approach you like a scammer, or when you're on your way to work, someone can stop you on the road and sell you an insurance product. 3 months down the line, you realize that is not what you needed. And when you now go, you try to cancel, you now start getting some new English words. So because of that, it is very important that after the mindset, now you have skill set. So skill set is the connection. You might say that, like personally, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm no longer employed. I used to be at the bank till February last year at GTBank as head of IT. And now I don't have those medical covers. So what I would do is, let me now go and get a private medical cover from an insurance company, so that if something happens and I'm admitted, I don't use all the reserves that I might have at company level. So because of that, it is you are the one who is deciding that I need this, then you go for it. You can say that maybe in December, I need this amount of money. Now you go and open a money market account and you start saving consistently. Or you'll say that because I'll think of retiring at age 50 and I want to start saving. Now you go to a fund that offers pension products and you buy it. So it's the other way around. You are the driver. So when you are the driver, it is much easier for you because you'll be self-driven. When you're putting that money in a circle, maybe it is the down payment for some home or piece of plot that you want to buy. You are the driver and it is clear. You know why you are doing it and you will be self-driven. So mindset is key, but skill set, we need to know what is the inflation rate. Currently, it is at around 5.2%. So you know that the difference between saving and investing, the line is blurred, but saving is that decision that you make in your mind, set aside money, but investing is actually saving above the inflation rate. So anytime you're earning returns above 5.2%, as we have now in Kenya, you're investing. So it can be 8%, it can be 10, it can be 11. But you need to watch the upper ceiling. That is the bank lending rate, 12 or 13%. Anyone who is offering you above any investment with returns above the bank lending rate, and they're saying that they've guaranteed it, you need to ask them why they're not going to take a bank loan. So for example, they're giving you 18%, yet banks are giving money at 12 or 13%. Why are they donating that extra percentage to you? Just know that the risk is high. And because of that understanding, we always ask people that from a skill set point of view, if you still have little money, play defensive. Play defensive, then over time, as your money grows and you have interest now from even your circle, you can afford to play around with that interest and try those risky investments. Because even if the money doesn't come back, you still have your principal that is earning for you interest. And for that reason, we say that investing is the goose that lays the golden eggs. So skill set is key and it is very powerful. Take your time. There is usually enough time to do due diligence. There's enough time to understand treasury bills and bonds if you're interested in them. There's enough time to understand shares. There's enough time to understand all these financial instruments, to understand that M-Pesa is not a savings account. It is a money transfer service. And a current account, maybe from banks, give you 0 interest rate. And treasury bills and bonds, maybe they give returns between 10 to 14%, and the risk level is low. Money market funds, all those information is available on CMA website, NSE. There's enough time to do even just a simple Google search. But without skill set, what would happen is that you'll invest first, then now you start doing due diligence later. And the more you do the research, the more you do the Google search, the more you realize how wrong you are. So to avoid that, you need to do your due diligence first before you invest. So that's very, very important that you look at skill set. Understand what is CRB. Why do you need to pay your loan? So that you're not listed on CRB. If you're not listed in CRB, it speaks well of your character. And if for whatever reason you're on CRB, you need to find ways to get yourself out of there. Personal discipline. Because one day you'll have a situation whereby your company wants to be funded with as much as, let's say, 10 or 20 million, and you are the stumbling block as a director, you're on CRB. Or maybe KCB has a job for you, a nice job, but you're in CRB. Because of that, they'll say, this CRB speaks of you, it speaks of your character. We are not judging you, but your credit report is telling us something about you. For that reason, we just want to keep away from you. So it's very, very important for us to understand those implications, understand what insurance products do. They're not investment, they protect well, okay, so that when things go wrong, they can take care of that burden on your behalf. We need to know what retirement is all about and what the funds are. And out of these investment options or banks, which ones are the best for us in a unique situation? So that is what interrogating skill set is, because the person with zero skill set and has a lot of money, let me tell you what a scammer will do. Instead of wasting time stopping strangers on the road, it is simple. They'll know these professions, they tend to have a lot of money, profession A, B, C. So what they'll do, if you're pilots or doctors or even lawyers, what they'll do, they'll come and hang around where you hang around. So Malancha, they just give you stories. The more they talk to you, the more they realize how little you have in terms of skill set. And then they sell you those products, whether it is a scam or Bitcoin scam or whatever. That's why you realize usually when things go wrong, you find that there are a group of friends who are in it. So those guys are very strategic. They've studied the human psychology. They'll know how to sell you that picture of the house that you want to own. Maybe you had planned to own it 10 years from now, and they're bringing forward. They're telling you as we speak now, by December, if you give me this 1 million, this money will be 10 times and you'll buy your house in cash. You'll say yes, and the money will go. But if you are skilled, then you'll know that there's no way, like the reasonable returns are X, Y, and Z, and you'll avoid such investments. Then you can have the right mindset and skill set. You are so knowledgeable. Maybe you are even an anchor on BBC Business or Bloomberg. But in terms of tool set, you've never opened that SACCO account, you've never opened an investment account, you've never opened any treasury bills and bonds account. So you just have knowledge, maybe the best analyst on Twitter or Facebook, but you are not investing. Then tomorrow you are the news anchor on business. We hear that maybe on Citizen or Business Daily, you've lost your job and you've been kicked out of your house in Rwanda or Kilimani. Then we are now shocked. But this is the person who knows it all. They have all this knowledge. Why did they save and invest? It's because they didn't have the tool set. So tool set is actually the actionable part. That SACCO account, if you've made peace with SACCOs and you think the instrument for you to grow your money, now you go and open the actual account and start investing. So usually tell people that as Abojani, we are not motivational speakers and we are not a school. We want people to be inspired. We get started, whether you're just starting to actually, and we can only afford to save 5,000 Kenya shillings per month. At the end of the year, that is 60. Over 10 years, that will be 700. If you add interest, it will be close to 1 million or so. So that is the game. That is the game of money. You do something, and that is the only game. This idea of just knowing things and not doing it doesn't help us from a personal finance point of view. So usually you have challenges like an emergency fund, because an emergency fund is what you need to set aside first before you get started on investing. And the reason we have challenges, because once you do something consistently, once you are able to save money consistently to 50,000 from zero, believe you me, you'll be on fire. You'll be the most powerful person in your personal finance journey because you know how to do it. And now you can do what we call leveling up. Because we said, if I've done 50, what is 100? I can do it by myself. If I've done 1 million, what is 2 million? So you see, your journey will be growing, and it is practical, it is not theory. You see, so that's the money game. Just like we do things before you became a professional, whether you are a lawyer or a finance person, I'm sure you took your time and you learned and you became very good in that field. Now people in your bank or organization, they rely on you. Same goes with money. So there's a lot of things to learn, but at the end of the day, you need the tool set. You need the budgeting, plan for your money. You need an accountability partner, someone who can push you towards your goal. Since sometimes we are lazy as human beings, we do what we call automated way of sending that money to your bank, to the investment, using a standing instruction, so that you don't have standing instruction or standing order, so that you don't have this situation whereby some months you just feel moody or lazy and you say, I'm not going to save. The standing order will have sent that money. And what you need to know is that if, let's say, you are working with a SACCO and that SACCO banks with COP or KCB, try to ensure that you receive your salary in the same bank that the primary investment firm that you work with banks. It means that charges will be very low. So I can tell you, if you transfer money from one bank to the other, if it is RTGS, it's 500 per month. So at the end of the day, it will be 6,000. If you put 100,000 and you're expecting to get returns of 10K, it means you are donating 6K away. But if it is internal, most internal transfers are free, or even if it goes up, it can only be, let's say, 100 bob or less. So 100 bob times 12, maybe 1,200. And if it is free, it means that that 6,000 that should have gone to charges you save. So those are the skills that we need and making with tools. And now you can say now you are financially savvy, which is a journey. So we keep learning over time because, again, the industry is dynamic. So in a nutshell, this is what the personal finance pillars are: the mindset, skill set, and tool set. So let me see from the chart if it makes sense why you need to look at the three to have a foundation, have a strong foundation. Because you can see you can be knowledgeable, you can know everything, all the definitions of investments or even how shares work. But until you open the share account, nothing will happen when it comes to your money. And again, you can have the best mindset, but zero skill set. You can be very skilled, but you've not made a connection with why you need to save. So for that reason, you'll become lazy and you can stop along the way. So let me see from the chart if you've gotten the personal finance pillars, because this is something that we built based on feedback and interaction with over 80,000 people. And we found out that if we segment it this way, then it becomes relatable, it becomes practical, and people can get it and see why it is important to have this foundation before you can proceed to the next level. So let me see from the chart, you can give me feedback. So like I said, it is a conversation. It's not about me. I'm just what can I say? A champion of conversation. And like I told you, money is very personal. So we learn from each other. But at the end of the day, we need to do action. Sometimes it is HR who are trying to help people. They tell you that, Sam, you just come to this organization the other day. Please open an account with a SACCO. If you are in NGO, probably AMREF. If you are in financial services, probably Kenya Bankers. If you are in the police, probably police SACCO, whatever SACCO that would work for you, for example. Or if it is money market funds. Once you start the journey, it becomes practical because 3,000 every month becomes 36,000 at the end of the year. It is that simple. This thing of people saying, oh, I can't save this and that. Let me tell you, when it comes to emergency or retirement, we usually tell people there's a very good comeback for YOLO, and that is YOYO. You are on your own when you have an emergency. You are on your own during retirement age. There's no single person in this world who is guaranteed to help you when you have an emergency. So what we say, you just have to be realistic and say, yes, I'm earning 30. Let me just save 1,000 Kenyan shillings per month. Do something. If you have that mindset, believe in me, you'll find a way. So it's very, very important that to make this thing personal. It's not about the outsider. It's not about arguing, life is this. The other day we hosted Dr. Mani Chandare in our community, and he told us he's 93 years old. You might be here in 93 years. So I don't know where the YOLO will give you money for retirement. So for that reason, you'll find that even within your budget, that 30,000, you can do whatever you want, you can rent, but you are just saying save something, whether it is just 3K per month. And you do that because you'll still have 2K maybe for entertainment, leisure. There's enough money within our budget to have fun within our budget. So that is very, very important. And that's why I insist it is personal. The public or anyone really, they don't care. Even if we share the story of how you are struggling, yes, people will feel a few empathetic, people will get likes and comments. After that, you go back to your hood and it is you against your problem. So because of that, it is a personal journey, just like anything that you've done. When you tell us that you are a lawyer, we just say, wow, you made the decision to become a lawyer. I can't question why did you not want to be a pilot, things like that, because people are unique and people have that freedom. The gift that you have in life is to make those decisions that are useful to you. But now comes a challenge when it comes to money. Let me tell you, those who decide not to care about their money, believe me, they are burdened to their family and their country. As we know, Kenya spends over 7 billion Kenyan shillings per year to give to all people like 2,000 Kenya shillings per month. So believe you me, people who need help, they're a burden to everyone. And the best gift that you can give to the world, and even here in Kenya, is to ensure that you and your children and family members are not a burden to the country. You are not a burden to President Uhuru Kenyatta. That now if you need 10K sort of things, you have to give. If you can ensure that only those who really need help, you know, there are people who are in very disadvantaged situations. Those are actually the people that need to be helped. But we should not have a situation whereby 20 billion from our old budget is being used to help people who maybe they could have saved, but they were YOLOing. We can say, yes, we made a mistake as a generation, as a people, but going forward, let's ensure that we sort this mess going forward. So that's very, very important. It's part of civilization to realize that, yes, this thing of personal finance is news to us. We didn't know when we were young, but now we've learned, let's do something about ourselves. And the more we save, the more we can even fund our startups and things like that. So in a nutshell, that is what the 3 pillars are about. And we like to emphasize it so that you can get it. So thank you for listening. Now we'll go to, just to expand on this, you can take a screenshot, but it's just to expand that when you talk about the mindset, you need to know why personal finance. The answer is with you. No one can dictate to you what money means to you. So that is personal. What are your personal values and where are you spending money? If you print your bank account statement or M-Pesa, is where the money going related to your personal values so that you don't have that conflict. So that is very, very important. So what money means to you, what are your life goals? Those are personal things. Connect between your personal finances and your life goals so that it becomes easier. When you are doing it, it's just flowing in the path of least resistance. I'm saving because of this and that. Personal again, goal setting, prioritization, financial planning, 3 sources of capital that you're going to look. You know, you can get some opportunities simply because you're in this club. And we know that you are a lawyer. So if you have legal issues, I'll come to you because you're in this club. That's social capital, which can give birth to financial capital. Abundance mindset. We start with emergency fund. It will create you abundance. Believe me, if you have an emergency fund of 10K and problems come up and it is 500 bob only, you'll sort it like a boss and move on with life. But if you don't have 500, you'll start calling people names. You'll say, this Edwin guy is not a good friend. He's a scam. You'll call people left, right, and center. Sometimes someone is in a meeting or driving. You want them to pick your call. You become very selfish. So not being organized financially can cause a lot of problems. So because of that, we need to be able to be in a position where we build that abundance mindset, and we'll tend to have different kind of problems. Because if you have that 500 Kenya shillings to sort that emergency, you won't pick a phone call and call people names. It means that maybe you'll have other problems. Maybe you're stuck on traffic. You tend to have different problems. So budgeting is just allocating your resources, sorting your needs, self-development goals, which you look at shortly, and investing for the future. So beware of financial distractions like betting, avoid them, mobile loans, avoid if you can, because they can eat into your money and distract you from your long-term goals, like maybe buying a house or buying a car. So emotional intelligence, develop a relationship with money. So skill set, understand what financial markets 101 are, risk. Please don't go asking a stranger online what are shares and things like that. You have nac.co.ke, or you can come to Abojani Masterclass. You can go to CMA website, learn as much as possible so that when you're coming, you say, yes, this is what I understand about shares. Can you shed more? Now you are at the financial intelligence layer. You've learned the basic. And believe me, I know that people Google a lot. People Google a lot. When you find that a family is expecting a baby, you'll find them online, Googling what are the best hospitals, what do we need to do, things like that. People learn. So even this investing, if you don't have information, we can learn. Go through regulated website, go through CBK website, you learn a lot. Compound interest, learn that if you have 100,000 and the interest is 10%, at the end of the day, you have 10K. At the end of year 2, the 10% will be based on 110. So this goose is just laying golden eggs over time. So inflation, again, eats your money, invest above the inflation rate. Interest rate, let's understand. Credit management. So there's enough, because time to learn about these things, since in the life journey, you need to be able to support yourself over time. And money can be a silent life partner to help with your life goals. So very important that you get the skill set. Then the tool sets as well, investment account, accountability partner, those title deeds, let's write them down. Have a family member who is aware, instead of having money left, right, and center, and no one knows about it. Yeah, so thank you for that. And now under budgeting, I'll quickly go to 50, 30, 20 rule. So 50 means at least 50% at most should go to your needs, things like rent, transport, fare. Then 30% is for self-development. So these are things for body, mind, and soul. If you are donating money for any Rotarian, it should fall under self-development. That is body, mind, and soul. If you are supporting parents, that body, mind, and soul. If you feel like things are going towards the technology side and you are a marketer, now you want to do digital marketing, you are building yourself for tomorrow so that you become a valuable person tomorrow for your own sake. That is self-development. If you want to contribute to adding, that is self-development. So you can decide that out of that 30, 20% is yours. Maybe you want to go to school to do an MBA, you want to go to the gym to keep fit, and then you do 20%, then 10% is for other people. So that if it is 5K that you have for other people, once it is gone, you can tell people, can you please wait for next month? Because no is a final, is a complete sentence. So you'll be able to be organized. Then 20% is for saving and investment. And when saving, start with an emergency fund before you can even think of investments. So if you are in a tight position, at least start even with saving just 5%. Then over time, move towards 10 or 20%. And if you are young and you don't have a lot of responsibility, save even 40 or 30%, and your future self. Ensure that each and every Kenya shillings you set a value for it, where you are saving it, whether it is for needs or you budget for it. And as you start, have a line known as things that I forget to budget for. So budget is also a journey. You want to be perfect from the that I forget to budget for. Then over 3 to 6 months, you'll have figured out what works for you. So quickly, I'll go now to the next item that I want to discuss. So that is mental capital. So, sorry, types of capital. Let us know that money is a byproduct of two main types of capital. Mental capital is what you know, what you can do better than others. If someone works somewhere, it's because he has some skills. If someone is a lawyer, you want to transfer land, some piece of land, you'll go to them. I can't help you in that. I'll help you with the investment. That's where my mental capital is. But believe you me, no one stays in our head to know what we can do. No one stays in our computers to know what is in our CV. So you need to be out there so that people know that this is what you do. Are you a good driver? Do you have a taxi? Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse? Things like that. Then once we know, then when opportunity comes, we'll say, if your child is sick, go to Joyce. She's the pediatrician in our community. You understand? So because of that, you need to build relationship capital. And these days, even social media is relationship capital. If we are searching online on LinkedIn and we find you, that means that you are out there and people know what you can do. So when you're in a meeting somewhere and you want a plumber and we know that you're a plumber, you'll be on our mind and you'll get the opportunity. So it's very, very important to understand that financial capital is a byproduct of mental and social capital. So let me see from the chart if that is clear. So you need to be in clubs, relevant clubs, SMEs, startup, where other people, like-minded people are. We need to find you there because the opportunity will never be available to 7 billion people in the world. It will always come into that place where you have like-minded people. Those clubs about East Park, beware people like you in terms of profession are, so that when the opportunities come, you can get and build skills. If you want to interact with people who are above you, offer something. Because these days, people tend to be the ones, so, you just want to be the one to be helped. Offer some good link to that person who is even above you, and you feel like they'll help you someday. So offer, give first before you ask for help. So that's very, very important. And then over time, if you have financial capital, you can grow. You can grow investments to the time that maybe now passive income from a circle, treasury bills and bonds is able to cater for your bills. So that's an aspiration that people have and they can achieve it before retirement. So let me see on the chart if you get where money is all about in terms of sources of capital and why, instead of saying that salary ni kidogo, do a new course, do something that will make you be valuable to be able to be promoted or exchange jobs. So I've been told that I have 5 minutes. So I'll now go to the last topic of the day. and why from today onwards, I want you to change the way you look at money and investments. So personal finance is a value chain, and this is like your personal finance kingdom. The best way to look at this screen is to know that, assume you are a country like Kenya. Would you just protect only your Tanzanian border? So let me see from the chart. If you are Kenya, can you say that you don't need the Navy, you don't need Kenya Army or Air Force, you just want the borders to be like that? If you are Kenya, for example, tell me in the chat, will you do that, that no army, you just trust people, you leave the Tanzanian border open, Ugandan, Ethiopian, Somalia, South Sudan, like that? Yes or no? Let's interact, please. I hope you can hear me. Not exactly, great, yeah. And if you decide to have Kenya Army, will you say that you are going to protect only Tanzanian border? You leave Somalian border open? You'll say no. Because of that, I want us to be very careful on how we look at personal finance and money. It is a value chain, and the enemy can come from any angle. The enemy can come from a mistake on debt. The enemy can come from us trying to buy a house that we can't afford. The enemy can come from estate administration. The enemy can come from a spouse. The enemy can come from us not working on our career. The enemy can come from us mismanaging our businesses. The enemy can come from us not dealing with taxes properly. So the enemy can come from all these angles. Because of that, we look at personal finance as a value chain. So I'll quickly tell you, financial planning is what we've been talking about to plan your finances. And once you have the extra money, you need to know where to invest it. Because if you invest, that more money that you're earning from investment can pay your insurance product that you have or premiums. So risk management is key, because if, let's say, you are an entrepreneur and you are sick, you have like 1 million Kenya shillings in terms of medical bill inpatient, it might wipe your company. But if you bought a policy worth, let's say, 50 or 100K in a year, it might be the one protecting your personal finance kingdom. So let's protect the borders. A retirement is key. You can be the most successful athlete, but you didn't cater for your retirement. So from age 40 to 70 is just premium tiers. So because of that, we need to plan for our retirement. Debt management, again, can bring this empire down, because debt can choke and overwhelm you to the extent you can't pay for your insurance premium, you can't pay for pension, you can't invest, you can't do anything, you're just helpless. So because of that, look at what is known as debt to income ratio. Try to ensure that you don't use more than 15% of your net income on loan repayment. So whenever you're taking a loan, look at that rule. If possible, ensure that it doesn't go beyond 25% of your net income. Home ownership, age 35 to 40, mostly are culprits. They have what is known as home ownership bag, whereby they just wake up today, they feel like no matter what, they have to own a home, and they end up making serious mistakes. Because of that, plan your life. Decide, will you buy a piece of plot and bill? Will you do a mortgage? And if it's a mortgage, is the repayment less than 20% of your net income? If it is less than, then it means you can't afford. So again, this home ownership, you take a mortgage of 10 million, and from there it affects your career. You can't even work, you can't exchange jobs, you can't even share your opinion at work, because you fear that you'll be fired and your mortgage will be a mess. Estate administration and succession planning. I'm able to move from Nairobi and Thika because someone built a bridge in Ngara. So decide on your lineage. What do you want for your lineage? Do you want to be in a position whereby if you are born, then your son or daughter, they have 100,000, they have 1 million that they can start a business with, because businesses are funded by friends, fools, and families. Other people like bankers and venture capital, they only come in once the business has stabilized. So what do you want for your lineage? If there are people who are struggling to find jobs and you're good at CV writing, can you help them? So that is personal, writing down all the things that we have as well. Because currently you have over 50 billion in unclaimed asset authority. This culture of secrecy is making us poorer, and we are claiming that you don't have money to fund startups. Yet there's 50 billion lying somewhere, no one is going for it. So it's very, very important that we plan about estate administration and succession planning. Finance for kids, let's take our children through money. Let's involve them in what we do, so that they can take our empire to the next level. And they can also learn to be responsible people. finance for couples. Again, these are two people from different backgrounds. So if they learn about money, they can help each other. And let me tell you, things like mortgages, they're borrowed ideas here in Africa. And the assumption is that a house with a mortgage has consolidated income. So these are things that you need to know, that we need to consolidate our income. There are segments of our societies that consolidate their income, and they tend to live better lives and enjoy life more than people who are just doing secrecy. Let me tell you a secret about wealth. Young people have been lied to that there's something known as freedom or independence. Let me tell you, from day onwards, you should know that wealth works at interdependence layer. You can get things simply because of whom you know and who you relate to. And you can have a problem, and if you consolidate income at family level, that problem is much smaller. So you need to know that that is something that was sold to Black Africans. It has come also here in Africa. If you find the wealthy, those guys, they're always friends. They have very few enemies. Their things move faster. They're at an interdependence layer. So there are three forms of human interaction. There's a dependent, there's someone who claims to be independent, which is not entirely true. Then there's someone playing at interdependence. Interdependence layer is the highest form of human relationship. So we need to move to that over time. So career development and entrepreneurship, this is where the money comes from. So because of that, we need to build them over time. Learn sales and marketing, because revenue is the cheapest source of funding. When people say, you know, I don't have funding, I don't have bank loan, VCs are not funding, that is neither here and there. We need to see those entrepreneurs standing at the top of KICC, shouting about their products and services, which people don't do. Safaricom staff sell Safaricom on LinkedIn more than even more SMEs are selling their companies. So let's learn revenue is the cheapest source of funding and go to the path of least resistance. Then finally, you have taxation. So government is a very powerful idea. So try to ensure that you don't have problems with carry. So this value chain, take your time and learn it over time. Implement these ideas over time, because like you can see, you can be the most successful person, you have a supermarket chain, then your children don't care and the supermarket chain collapses. So that's where we're talking about borders. Protect your Somalia border, Ethiopia border, Uganda, Tanzania. Otherwise, you can work hard in all the borders, but the enemy might just come from the Ethiopian border and you find that Kenya is in chaos. So thank you very much for inviting me. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for the detail and for scaring half of us. So before we go, we have about 10 minutes for Q&A. So yeah, please raise your hand on the chat. There's the kathingi that makes your hand go up on the chat, or put your question in the chat and we'll read it out. About 10 minutes, that means about 3-4 questions. And silence could mean either we are scared or we learned something.
It is a journey. So these are conversations. In African conversation, we tell you as how we learn. So the auntie or the uncle will come and ignore, but one day on some Sunday, after when we are in a church, you think, by the way, why was Auntie Rose or Uncle Robert telling me this? You learn that they are saying something factual. And sometimes it might take us even years, 5 years down the line and learn. Because to be honest, the family is where we tend to learn a lot. There can be so many things out there, so many ideas, but when it comes back to the dinner table, that is where you can know whether a family is happy or sad. Because of that, that's where we like to tell ourselves the truth. So our concept is based on the dinner table, and it's just about conversations we learn. No one is an expert, no one knows it all. So we just share with each other and we can learn from all of us.
All right, there's no question. Or anyone with a comment and you want to make it publicly, you could request to unmute, or put it on chat. Robert, I'm getting a request to share the slides. Is that possible?
Okay, since these ones are for our masterclass, we don't share, but maybe if you're recording, you can share with them the recording. So you do have a masterclass that cost 4K for 3 weeks. But for any session that I usually take, if someone is interested, they'll pay 3,500 instead of the 4K. But that now will be 3 weeks, where we talk about now these things in depth, even investing. And it's a worthy investment, since money is a tool that will help you with different things in life. And we also have free on our Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook. And we also have a Telegram group, a lot of free information there that can help with your financial journey.
All right. Thank you very much. Peter, you have a question? You could go first.
Okay, not a question per se, but just a comment. One thing that the speaker today has talked about, that is Robert, is about relationships and things something to do with interdependence. And it's quite lovely that Rotary provides that, and it's a good thing to be part and parcel of Rotary, such a way that today I was able to attend this meeting, courtesy of knowing things and knowing people in Rotary. Yeah, so it's good to be in Rotary because you get that interdependence, and just like to encourage guys to formulate such kind of relationship that will assist us. A meme usually goes around and says that the friends that you're making now will be the connection that your kids will need when they're grown up. So you stop making friends with people who will be good connections. Yeah? Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks. So we are very big on that point. And let me tell you, like 3 weeks ago, we were doing our one-on-one estate administration and succession masterclass for a family of 26, and everyone came. Do you know why the wealthy are smart on that? They play at interdependence level. Young people say, you know, I have plans, people are wasting my time, I'm not going for that family meeting because they're giving priority to other things. But let me tell you, people who work at interdependence level, wanasikizana, their things just go anywhere. It's very easy because, like, for us even to get regulated, someone just came to us and told us that, Robert, we like what you are doing. How can we help you? This is what you need to be regulated. Can we start preparing? Just imagine that way. But here you hear startups just complaining, you know, regulations in Kenya are like this and that. And if they're invited in sessions where you have this CMA or NSC or CBK, they want to go. They're busy with other things, maybe going to the ES to look for funding. So you can see at an interdependence level, things happen for you because of your relationship with people, whether you are a Rotarian. So it's much easier. And the independence and dependence, they're primitive ways of human relationship. And it's personal. Someone can decide that, yes, I'm going to be just a freedom person. There's movements, even there's a song that people sing that they're independent. It is neither here and there, because even if you have all the money, you can't do all the things for yourself. The president will need a cook, they'll need a driver. Even if you have the money, you still need to go to Shell petrol station, will be served by someone else. So interdependence is the highest form of human relationship. And if you move there, you'll start seeing things differently. You've seen how relationship capital is what leads to even earning money. No billionaire made themselves a billionaire. You create value for other people. You sell to us maybe Byros or chicken like KFC, then we give you money, then you become a billionaire. So you can't work for yourself and then you pay yourself. You'll work for someone else. So interdependence is the layer that you should play at. And things become much easier because even there's data that shows that families with consolidated income, they enjoy life. They live a better life than someone who is trying to carry the whole world by themselves. Your back might break. People will tell you, no, mental illness, what. But it's because you are taking yourself too seriously and assuming that you can do it all by yourself. So that's why wealth is at interdependence layer.
Right. Thank you. I think we'll take the last two. The first one is in the chat. How much do you recommend as debt to income ratio for personal finances? And then Ben, your hand is up. If you could ask the question or make the comment.
Yeah, so some for debt to income, try to ensure that it's not more than 25%. So if you're earning, let's say 100,000, try not to use more than 25,000 as loan repayment per month. So whether you have 4 loans or 2, try to ensure that that monthly repayment amount is not more than 25%. Since once we start breaching that is when people get into problem. And sometimes even human resource officers, they trail you, Robert, please don't do this, it will hurt your finances. So it's because statistics and research has been done and shows that once you breach that percentage, you are likely to have money problems. And that's how people find themselves in some debt trap. It's because of not respecting those boundaries. Like I told you, the borders have to be protected. So protect your borders, because like you said, the enemy can come from different angles. And that's why sometimes you wonder, this person was successful, they were an athlete, they were earning 10 million, 20, where did the money go? It's because there's one point in the border that was left open and then the enemy came through that.
Right, last question stroke comment from Ben.
Okay, mine is on these capital investment firms. So we have whereby companies, the likes of Saitona, whereby you do, how they called, the deposits, and your money is supposed to grow by over 10%. Now, my worry comes in here. Most of these companies are regulated by the CBK and they have all those regulation numbers. But the downside about them is once in 2 years, we hear companies who have gone either bankrupt, they've gone out of business, and they have closed. And, they run away, quote unquote, with lots of the money. So how in terms of due diligence, how scrutinized can one be? Because I thought once they are said they are regulated and you check with the regulatory committee of Kenya, they're still regulated. How more do you need to go deeper for your own security?
Thank you very much, Ben. So that is under skill set layer. And I'll just throw it back to you, Ben. If you are to buy a car today, what process do you go through? Yeah. Like you do a lot of research, then you end up with a car, and most cars tend to be the ones that are fit for you, and you'll avoid some because you think they might not work out for you. So for regulation, what to do, the first layer of due diligence is to go to, let's say, CMA website and look at money market fund and fund managers. First checklist, it is in that list. Then those funds, they usually have funds that are regulated, okay? That is the second layer. Ensure that that fund that they're selling to is regulated. And it's not them to tell you, it is you to confirm from that list of licensees, which CMA shares very often, like every 3 months. So that is the second layer. Then what we told you about the skill set layer is the banks are lending at 13%. That person that is giving you 15%, whether they're regulated, just be careful and even know that if you are to invest, you are taking too much risk. So you find that who put as much as 20 million in some funds that were promising 16, that one, the weakness comes in skill set layer. You understand? So that way skill set is important. Yeah, and you can get infrastructure bond at 12.96%, free money, but someone will just take more risk and invest in 15% instrument that is likely to go away with their money. And that's why now we need to build on our skill set and know that even these companies, they're the best. There's a way you can rank them. Which bank do they keep their money with? There are people who are known as trustees. For example, there's a money market fund that doesn't have a trustee. And you can just go to a simple Google search. There you search for things, go under news. You'll find there's a fund that is always fighting with the regulators and things like that. And they're just being protected by the courts. So you'll know that part of due diligence is just to be thorough. Like for people who plan to marry or looking for boyfriends and girlfriends, I believe people do all kinds of research. So even for our investments, I would say we are keen and we're in the like-minded communities like ours and stuff like that. You'll get to know this information. You'll just be told for this one, just be careful. So it's about due diligence and being patient. Yes?
Okay. So even these trustees are on the public domain. It's not like something is hidden and you have to go to...
Actually, they have to give you that information. Yeah, you question who is your custodian, who is your trustee. You can ask all those questions, which for some reason people fear to ask, and you're putting a whole 1 million there, 500. But when things go wrong now, you'll have the guts to go online and start asking questions. So there's enough time to do due diligence. Yeah. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in investment, but it's important that you have that mindset. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Alafu hiyo part ya girlfriend boyfriend research, I think that's where we drew the line kwa research hapo. Asante, appreciate.
All right, thank you, Ben. Thank you very much, Robert. I'm looking for someone to throw under the fire to give a vote of thanks. There's one gentleman by the name Innocent Ouko. Innocent, how are you?
I had a feeling that I would be ambushed.
Yeah, you could tell us what you planned today and then give a vote of thanks to Robert.
Thank you very much. So while listening to the entire talk, I was accumulating my emergency fund in terms of what that I would use. Once SK, the bus. Thank you so much, Robert, for spending time to give us something that you touch. And simplifying it into formats that are easily easy for us to remember. I think by breaking it down into 3 pillars and then extending the 3 pillars in practice is something that we all appreciate. And the idea of consistency and starting, I think that's something that I agree with, something that I have seen happen. And I've learned something about this money markets and trustees. Seems like there's still more that I need to go learn about it. So on behalf of the team at RotaryJabali, and to thank you for giving us this talk, and hope everyone has noted one thing or two and they'll start implementing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Innocent. Thank you, Robert, for coming through. I think this is just one of the first. I think the next part, and we were discussing earlier with Elvis, is now to drill down and see what are the specific topics in finance and investments that we'll want to dive deep into. Is it housing, or how to get a mortgage, how to plan around real estate? Is it understanding NSC, money market funds? So I think this is one of the first. So to all our attendees, to all our members, keep checking your email. Don't block us on email or also on WhatsApp. Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. And the last 15 minutes of this fellowship is a couple of announcements. And then Sergeant at Arms and Melissa and Gaia. So a couple of announcements. First is to mention that as we all mentioned at the start, RotaryJabali is in the formation stage. We are friends and acquaintances who've come together to form a Rotary Club. And the reason was the journey of starting one is exciting as well as it is challenging. But the goal is to grow together. So as Peter says, the friends you form in your 20s will be the connections your children will be looking for in 20 years. So yeah, I think that's the reasoning. Peter summed it quite well. So we hope to be a family of like-minded people, be friends, enjoy fellowship, serve our communities from now until many years later. So we've been on for a while, and we are getting to that part where we need to formalize the club and get charter members So those members will say, I was there when RotaryJabali was formed. We have a deadline of 31st of this month, deadline we've put upon ourselves. The charter process is very simple. You pay 3,500 or 3,500 to our club treasurer. The 3,500 caters for $15 per member that will be paid directly to Rotary International. That's $15, about 1,700. And the balance will remain in our club kitty for admin purposes as the club starts. So to register as a charter member, you send over 35 to our treasurer's line. It will read Priska Wangoi on or before 31st of March. And then Mary, our secretary, will DM you with some more details on the process. Second announcement is our next fellowship or our next meeting, if you are not in Rotary, is or will be graced by one of the most accomplished Rotarians on the African continent. He's the only African Rotarian to serve as Vice President of Rotary International. His name is Yinka Babalola. He is a member of the Rotary Club of Transamadi in Nigeria. He served as Vice President of Rotary International 2 years ago. He joined Rotaract, I think in the 80s, and joined Rotary in the 90s. And the stories this man has to share every time you sit with him are impactful. So he shall be speaking to us about what he has learned about life, Rotary, and significance. So announcement, if you are a member of another club and you like for us to have a joint fellowship on this, DM us or reach out to any one of us, and we'll have a joint fellowship hosting Yinka Babalola. It will not be a Wednesday fellowship, it will be a Saturday evening fellowship. The reason being, it was a mere mistake, but Yinka confirmed a Saturday. So you shall not be in traffic, hopefully. You shall be seated and waiting for this talk that could transform your life. Yes, so that's our next fellowship on Saturday the 9th from 7:30 to 9-ish, because you never really end at 9. And the last one, I'll allow Elvis to make this announcement. Elvis?
Thank you, PE. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Elvis. I serve in this club as the Speaker Secretary and the Vocational Service Director. So this announcement concerns our vocational visit with our guides through this journey towards becoming a Rotary Club, and that's PDG Eric Kimani and his family. They have invited us on Saturday the 16th to visit them at where they work. That's at Farmhouse Dairies in Githunguri. And after that, they're hosting us for lunch. It's a wonderful opportunity for us as members to learn, to speak with one of the seasoned Rotarians in this country, to tell us about their journey in Rotary, what they have learned so far, how they incorporate the Rotary life in their workspace. We could even learn more about how they use their business for good through their foundation, and overall just have good vibes. If you've joined us for a home fellowship before or any of our fun activities, we make for good company. What I would like us to do, and why I'm making this call, is to register on the link. As you can see, the bit.ly/Jabali Nyumbani. I was speaking to SK a bit earlier, and I was asking whether we know that RSVP also includes a no. If you're, sometimes life happens to all of us. You have something on that day. It might be your wedding and you haven't told us, or your niece's birthday and sadly you can't make it. Please let us know on the form, but hopefully you'll join us. So RSVP, yes, if you're sure. RSVP, no, if you're not. If you can't make it, hopefully soon, so that we can also share with our hosts. It's quite challenging to plan an event if you don't know how many guests to expect. So please RSVP as soon as you can. And that's it from me. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Back to you, PE.
All right, thank you very much, Elvis. Yeah, so those are our next 3 activities in the next few weeks. Register as a charter member. Once a charter member, always a charter member, and we promise you'll never regret being part of RotaryJabali. Join us on the Saturday the 9th. This will be online. The fellowship with Yinka will be online, and Saturday the 16th, as we have lunch and interact with PDG Eric and his family. At this moment, I welcome Melissa and Gaia.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I was having trouble unmuting my mic, but yes, here we are. Yes, so it's time for yet another fun part of our meetings, and I'd just like to urge everyone to loosen up a bit after that very informative financial class we've just had, which was very, very nice and calls for introspection. I'm Melissa, I'm the Sergeant at Arms, and I'd like to take you through the Happy Dollars ritual. So about Happy Dollars, this is where any member who is willing to offer $1 to celebrate something that makes them happy about the club, about today's meeting, or whatever that is happening in their lives, maybe personal or professional lives, you can share it with us. And so in our case, a Happy Dollar is worth 100 bob, 100 Kenya shillings. I know the rate is at about, I think 114 today, but we'll work with 100 bob. You can also give us $1 if there's something that hasn't made you happy, or if me as an SAA, I've seen some people arriving a bit late today. I hope you'll volunteer yourself to give a sad dollar for that. And so why do we do Happy Dollars? It's a great way to raise money for various projects that we have and community initiatives. It's also a great way for everyone in the club to be able to be kept up to date with everything that's going on with any other member. So with that in mind, I'd like to give 2 Happy Dollars. So the first one is for myself, because I've been able to achieve a goal of reading a book, at least a book every month. Okay, I squander the time and do 2 books in a month, but yes, my goal was a book per month. Then the other Happy Dollar is for the great presentation by Robert, which was very, very informative. So I'd like to welcome members who'd like to share and care through giving $1 or multiple dollars towards this ritual. Feel free to speak up or even type on the comment section. Yes. Anyone?
Melissa, probably could go first or second.
Yes, please.
2, 3 Happy Dollars. One is for this fellowship. I think I'm learning which fellowships will be getting us an attendance of 60 plus. So I think this is the 3rd or so fellowship we are 60 plus, or we have been 60 plus. So that's a good lesson. And I think Elvis is also taking notes. Second is for all who have registered as charter members. I'm liking the direction we are headed. And finally, for everyone who joined us tonight, keep coming back to RotaryJabali. And we hope you'll be a member at some point. Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, thank you, SK. Any other person? Anyone who's feeling happy or sad? If you're not able to speak, you can just type in the chat box if you're giving a Happy Dollar.
SA, if I may help you, I see James has their hand up.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, Melissa and Elvis. I'm James Supeo. I have 1 Happy Dollar. I'm really happy to be here as a guest and visiting Rotary. Thank you for organizing this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Mutie?
Good evening. Two happies from me. So one is for Mr. Robert for the good, informative masterclass on financial planning. And the other one is for everyone who has joined us tonight. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you so much, Mutie. Any other person? Maybe I can also, if you feel like you joined the meeting a bit late and you feel like giving the club a few happy dollars. Someone else is raising their hand. Yes, Francis.
Okay, I think I'll do $3 happy. One for today's meeting, and the remaining, and then one for the amazing attendance today, and then 3 at least today. I'm not late for the meeting, so I am happy.
Thank you very much. Also on the chat section, thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Priska. Brenda is giving a happy $1. Priska is giving 2 happies.
There's also Kennedy. I think that's Kennedy Macau. $3 happy for the insightful presentation and all those who joined the fellowship today. Terrell, I think we can mute. Terrell, you can speak. Where are you at?
As Terrer says where he's at, I would like to give $2 happy myself. One for the wonderful meeting today, and the second one is a carry forward happy $1 because I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on the 16th.
Yay, that's a good one. Thank you, Elvis. Tia, you have your hand up. And I feel like
sorry, I forgot to put it down.
Oh, it's okay. I think Terrell should be fine. There's a point at some point his camera was on and he didn't bother to say hi. But it's fine. Terrell is in the office, so he's not able to speak. But yes, we are happy to receive your happy $. That's, yeah. So thank you very much. Even if you're not able to speak or type, sorry. Mugi is giving us $2 happy. Thank you, Mugi. Yes, so I'd like to hand it over back to the president. So in case you're not able to speak or type, you can still send your happy $. To the treasurer. And very much, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Melissa, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I'm not sure I should repeat the announcement. I hope we all got that. So see you next on the 9th, or see you on the 16th. And board members, see you on the 2nd. I think April is quite packed. Sounds like 3 Saturdays that are Rotary Saturdays, 2nd, 9th, and 16th. Yeah, I think before we go back to the DJ, anyone can unmute and tell us something. You know, this physical, virtual fellowships are always very silent and everyone is acting well behaved. So anyone who has any announcement to make, any comment, a story to tell, you can turn on your video. Melissa, your hand is up.
Today is not a good day for videos. But I hope we can be able to interact more, maybe during giving happy dollars. I hope we can have personalized experience beyond being happy about the meeting or consistency, so that at least you can get to know each other more. But yes, today was a very good day. Yeah, that's my comment.
All right. Yeah. Brenda, we know you people. You're not this well behaved in person. Francis.
I think I might just give some happy dollars for Melissa to turn on her video. If she has to counter, she has to give twice what I'm giving.
Okay, Melissa, challenge to you.
Wow, challenge accepted.
We'll get on video. Supeo, Mutia.
I have a joke.
All right, go ahead.
The visiting Rotaractor has a joke. So, all right. What did the policeman say to his belly button?
Pardon?
What did the policeman say to his belly button? Aliambia nini kitovu? What did the policeman say to his belly button?
I think Muti has an answer. His hand is up, or someone is typing in that.
I'm just saying the joke better be funny.
I'll be moderate with the joke. Yes, then I'll be moderate. I'm a